everyone. We're so excited to have you here as our first guest at the SEAA show. We're in Miami, Florida, and we are very excited to be part of their 25-year anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
25. You guys don't even look 25. How were you
Yeah.
like you obviously were still in elementary school when this started.
It's a skincare routine.
It's
Yes.
a skincare routine.
Blame that skincare routine, absolutely.
Lots of water, baby.
So what I would like to do is maybe you guys introduce each other, how long you've been in the payment industry, tell us what you're doing now, and why don't we start with Elliott?
Okay, my name is Elliott Foreman. I'm the founder of Bonita Payments. I've been in payments for just over 20 years, and we're an ISO full-service processor right out of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm Adam Radican. I'm from Sacramento, California. My wife's been part of this industry for many, many years, and my background is medical sales, but I've seen such a big need for this industry and processing with my network of communications and people I would connect with, and I've just been wanting to help and connect with them and find a better solution what they're having problems with.
Wow, that's interesting.
All right. My name is Sandee Finley. I've been in the industry for over 20 years, aging myself at that. I am a merchant service provider as well as an ISV in the FFL space and the gun store space. Just been having fun doing this and entertained with the outcome here at SEAA today. It's been great. Just getting to
Yeah.
see everybody. It's amazing. I love coming out to Florida. This is my second home, obviously, but to be able to be at the 25th for, it's awesome. It's amazing.
Yes.
It's great. It's fun.
Well, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a long time.
Yes, we have.
Elliott, I was trying to figure out if it's been like 14 years, 15 years since I've known you, because it's
Yeah.
been a long time.
Patron days.
And it's, time flies, but it's really great to see you guys grow in the business, and these shows give us an opportunity to meet everybody and catch up. Since you're new in the business, I think that what you're going to find with pharmaceuticals are very similar in terms of the work ethic and sales and so forth. But I think you have an opportunity to really go after your existing network, talk to them about payments, because everyone takes payments, and really go after that business, and in a unique way because you understand their industry. And sometimes when someone has a niche and they can speak the same language with a certain industry, it gives you an advantage over other merchant card people that are out there trying to get that business.
Yeah, absolutely. And the community's been wonderful. This is my first event, and it's been eye-opening. It's like, this is a great group of people, all the connections and the people. It's fun to see. It's fun to see my wife at work and get her do her thing and shine. So it's very much enjoying meeting everyone.
Yeah.
Well, it's awesome to have you, Adam.
Thank you.
She tasked me with she gave me the task to walk him around and introduce him to everybody and explain, gateway versus, acquire versus software versus the banks and just the card brands, etc. So it's a big learning experience for him, and it feels great to take him under my wing just to show him the ropes and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what is the biggest challenge you have as a newbie in the payment space?
Really, it's just absorbing the information, just taking a step back and just relax and allowing it to absorb, and don't have to take it all in at once, and take notes and find out, okay, what's my next step of learning about this processing or this solution, and just take it one step at a time and ask questions.
Yep.
Build rapport, get cards, get numbers, follow up.
Elliott has been in this business for a long time, and one of the things that I've seen him do throughout the years is take people that are new to the industry and really train them and show them best practices. And what have you done that has really helped new people that are there? They see this industry as a great industry and are thinking of getting into it. What do you suggest, since you work with a lot of these people that are new?
So one of the things that I teach people is, for $75, you can incorporate an organization and just start making money. But in payments, you can pretty much start from just knocking on somebody's door and offering a service if you can get some sort of a Schedule A or whatever the case might be. So I think the issue is, there is a big training deficit in our industry. The big shops that are corporate level do have good training modules that offer some explanations on interchange, hardwares, and things like that to kind of give you the life cycle of a merchant experience. But what I'm doing now is I'm trying to emulate that. I'm trying to offer a first-class training supply system to give these people that don't even know what a credit card is a full learning experience to help them get brought up to speed with some level of fluidity, because at the end of the day, if you train bad, then you put bad sales reps out, and it's just a cascading event of so many things that are going to happen bad. So you gotta fix it
So
somewhere.
it sounds to me like you invest in people
Well,
because it is a lot of time.
Yes.
it is, but
Once you invest in them, you're investing in someone that you're creating the skills for them to be successful.
but just think about it. The greatest companies in the world have the greatest world-class training systems.
They do.
I mean, even your McDonald's, they're going to teach you the temperature of the fry and the number of fries into each fry carton. So why do we not have that same level of training for payment processing?
I got to tell you, that's one thing we do really well at NMI is once I bring on a new partner on the gateway, we have a launch manager. That launch manager is there to handhold them for the first 3 months and train them on all our added value lending, our ACH product, our text to pay. And they really handhold them on training them. Then we also have like a channel account manager assigned to them, so they have a relationship manager. And I think that handholding at the beginning and really supporting them, helping them board their first accounts is really great. It's an investment we do as a company to make sure that anyone who signs up with us is successful and gets acclimated with everything. And we keep buying companies, so we have new things to bring them that creates other revenue streams for them. So that's been really exciting for us.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what got you into payments?
Oh God. I went to college for honestly IT, networking and stuff. And a good friend of mine was the human resources for MCPS at the time.
Yeah.
And she's like, come and work for me for a little bit, and then we'll get you into the technical department. I was like, sure, no problem. But I had to do technical support, customer service. I was reading
so good at the
statements.
technical side.
Yes. I was reading merchant statements. I was breaking down batches and deposits for our merchant base and stuff. I ended up liking it, and I ended up being very good at it. Within a year, I got promoted right away to become, the lead. Within 2 years, I was a trainer. So I was training customer service. I was training technical support, and I was doing research in that area too. And then I wanted to learn more, and I became the supervisor. And then I started going into other departments, and then just sitting down with the management team at other departments and learning risk, learning compliance, underwriting, and the credit policy. I wanted to be a part of all of that. So yeah, 22 years in, and it's just, I wanted to be a well-rounded person to where I knew enough of everything. I don't have to be perfect at everything, but I wanted to know enough about everything to kind of know who to go to, who to talk to if I needed a specific support. Now I have mentors, like you guys, and I'm a mentor myself, so I pay it forward and I teach others the same thing.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this industry, it always is evolving.
Yes.
I mean, you're in it now, but when we started, when I started, I'm older than all of you. We still had knuckle busters, right?
I still remember those. Calm down. I sold them.
But the technology keeps evolving. Gateways. There's point of sale systems. Tap to pay. All of these things are very, very new. But I think if you've been in the business for a long time, you need to learn how to adapt. I know I never really heard how you got into the payment business.
Well, at one point in my life, I was a young athlete, and I was living in New York, and one of my managers, I told him I was leaving to go back to New Orleans. And he said to me, well, listen, I'm going to be starting a recruiting company, and you're going to be one of my first clients. And I was like, okay, cool. So he recruited me to work at First Data. And I didn't even know what a credit card machine was when I started went to my first interview, but they liked me. It's kind of like a nice kid, I guess. And they gave me a job, and then they sent me to Just the Basics, which was their first-class training program. And so I was recruited, had nothing to do with the industry, didn't know anything whatsoever about it. And I was good at following the instructions, just knocking on the door, closing the deal, getting the sale, offering a solution, putting the terminal on the counter, getting the programming done, the whole nine. And so that life cycle was very long, cumbersome, clunky, funky. It was terrible. The deployment, all that stuff had issues like you just cannot imagine. But it was enough for me to learn the steps biometrically to be able to continue to grow in that industry. And so fast forward 20 years, I've continuously honed that wheel until now I've refined it for my own purposes, you know?
That is wonderful. Wow. I mean, I've seen you grow through the years, and every time I see you at a show, you've got all the attention because you have this
I don't know
energy.
about that, but
He's got that charisma.
I will say this though. Corporations have never really treated the small guy really right, in my humble opinion. And so every time I got a little stronger, I wanted to create a safer space for these small people, because we know that there's two sides to every employment relationship. There's the employee and the employer. And if you're on the wrong side of either one of those, it can be very damaging to your business, into your career, into your life as a person or whatever. And so for me, I just wanted to create a safe space for everyone, both the employee and employer, to have a good relationship. And so for us, it's almost like we keep getting engaged on a constant basis every month. Every time you get a residual, was it right? Do you like it? Did you sign enough? Did you make enough? Was it good enough? Was the relationship healthy enough? Is there enough transparency? So that's the Bonita model, is where every time we do something, is pay as you go. You know, and if it works and we're building something great together, then you can be a part of a team. And it is possible to do that in payments.
My question, and especially for both of you who've been in the business for so long, is what is exciting right now that is new? Because we've seen, obviously, every time there's always something shiny and new in our industry. You know, even EMD was like a while ago, was like, oh my God, EMD, it's going to close up. So what is it now that you see that is exciting to you, that's going to shift our industry, make us more money, or that we need to, as payment professionals, need to jump on and educate ourselves on, so that we can stay ahead of the curve when it comes to payments? But let's start with what you think is.
Today I saw a commercial that McDonald's is now using AI to take the order at the drive-thru.
Right.
And so AI is that new thing.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to figure out how we can safely utilize it in our industry, whether it be risk mitigation, whether it be onboarding, self-onboarding, whether it being outbound sales, marketing, and whatnot. We're finding a way to integrate AI into all these different steps of payments. And so it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, it's change. We're not exactly in love with it because we are moving money. So we don't want robots playing games with the decimals and things like that. So there's enough of a good and a bad when it comes with it. So we just got to proceed with caution.
It's so funny because he asked me that inside when we were walking around. He's like, how's AI, you know? And I was like, oh, it depends. I said, what are you looking for AI at the banking level, gateway level, customer service level? I said, AI is the newest thing out there. And how are we going to use it? And what do we need it for? So how are we going to integrate it into our services for our customers to be able to, you know, make it more of a sticky situation where we're not going to lose our customers to the next person that does have the AI solutions and we don't, you know? Right. So it's so funny that he brought that up because we were just talking about that inside.
And I got to tell you, in the last year, so at NMI, I go to every tech conference, right, all the fintech conferences in Vegas. I go to Vegas. I think last year I was counting almost 10 times. I mean, it was in 1 year. And I'm not a big Vegas fan, but I will tell you that in the last year, every show, it's all about AI. Yep. And even companies have embraced it in one way or the other. It's become like the biggest topic. I know a few years ago, it was crypto.
Yes.
Crypto was a big topic. I've seen it kind of die down.
Oh, for sure.
But I know that was one of the biggest things. I was going to shows and everywhere is like crypto, you know, and so it's just interesting to see what's exciting. I'm like you, both of you. I believe AI is amazing. I've used it now for a lot of things, and it's made my life easier.
A good friend of mine said, you don't have to know AI 100%, but you have to know enough to be dangerous. Because if you don't, AI is not going to take your job. It's not going to take your company. It's not going to take any of that. But the person that does know AI, they're going to take your job.
Right.
They're going to, because I would hire somebody who's a little bit more educated in AI, even though we can learn payments. We can teach payments. But if you know AI, I'm going to hire you before the person that doesn't know AI does it. Because we use it so much I wake up in the morning and that's my first thing. I open up AI. Let's see what we're going to do. What kind of post do I need to make? What kind of spell check do I need to do?
You know,
It's funny.
I haven't embraced it as much as my husband.
Oh,
You see
you
this here?
have
He
to.
created this through AI.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and again, the
It's like-
graphic designer is in trouble.
That
Right.
is
The
the
digital
there's
marketing
so
company
many
is in trouble.
industries that are going to be really hurt. Graphic designers, because he created that within an hour for me.
Let me give you another parallel. I just recently saw that Disney laid off the entire Marvel Studios. These are the people who gave us the Avengers and all of the Spider-Mans inside of that franchise. And they are gone today because they're using green screens and creating it on shoestring budgets. So no longer do they have to have the biggest budgets in the world because the computers are going to do the work. So for me, I don't think that the calculator made people smarter. Because if you never keep carrying a 1 and doing 8 times 8 and 1 plus 2 and 5 and manually doing it, then the human brain isn't getting the use that it needs. Because there's very little intelligence in adding 12 plus 8 on a calculator and hitting the enter button.
Yeah.
Okay? So AI, if we keep asking it questions, it's learning.
Yep.
And we're not getting better from it.
Yep.
So that's where I'm like on a scale when it comes to, is it better? Is it really better? I mean, what is man going to look like in 10, 15 years if we've been asking questions to something intellectually superior to us for that long?
Yeah.
So getting back to your point on crypto, I knew crypto was a problem because wherever there's money, there's fraud.
Yep.
And when I found out that crypto was the #1 currency for kidnappers and terrorists, I said, okay, there's another conversation. And when I understood that you're going to take U.S. currency and just trade it to another country, and then there's going to have to be a universal income, type of situation. It's a lot of problems that they haven't been able to figure out yet. The US dollar is very old. It's been strong up and down for years, but we know it. You're not going to just start trading with people in 5 seconds, passing all banking.
Well, in Europe, it's much more. It's used a lot more.
I'm fine with
universally.
that, but the issue
In
is
Europe and in the U.S., it's still. I mean, we are working with a few companies right now that they have platforms, but it's more that they're connected to banks. They're being sponsored by banks, so it's regulated.
the regulation is necessary because all you got to do is lose your money to realize you need the police.
Oh, absolutely.
All you got to do is send a wire or make a transfer and nobody's there to save you to realize you need help. Because I'm telling you, wherever there's money, there's fraud.
And so it's interesting because it was such a big topic 2 years,
Gone.
3 years ago.
Yes.
Everywhere I went, and now it's AI. But I mean, again, with AI, it scares me a little bit because there are a lot of people, mostly in the artistic side, that screenwriters. I was in the film business for a long time, and I was like, wow, screenwriters. I mean, now they're going to be replacing all of these screenwriters because it could all be done through AI.
Yes, it can.
Music writers.
Music.
Yeah.
My husband created songs, and they sound
I think that is
great.
dangerous.
So that's where I'm like, wow. There's some industries I don't think they could ever replace us. We're salespeople,
Yes.
and we still need to connect and bring people and help them make money. But I think there are some industries that it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Shaky for sure.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Well, let's see where we're at next year and see what's the newest thing next year.
I
It's gonna
know.
be
So
interesting.
maybe there'll be another.
We'll
big
bring you
thing.
back and see what you thought about your
Right.
first year in payments.
Yes, absolutely.
You want to know
That'd be
something? At the pace that payments changes, it'll be a different payment in industry from this year from next year.
Yeah.
awesome. Oh yeah.
It was.
And so just keep that in mind. But
Every industry for that matter,
Touche. Agreed.
especially
But
with AI.
Payments has evolved. I mean, in the 20 plus years that I've been in it, I mean, I went through the whole, knuckle busters to, the credit card machine, the old Verifone.
telecheck.
Yes. Oh my God. Check. I was just teaching them about check services too. EMV, all of that stuff, just compliance now, everybody has to be PCI compliant now, everything. So it's going to change. So next year, it'll be something different.
Well, it's just so amazing. It's like, how many people do we just leave maybe the house without our wallet? I'm like, oh, I just have it.
Exactly.
And it's just unbelievable. It's like, oh, I got to pull my card out.
No.
I remember when I worked at the bank, and it was before we had our handheld phones.
Right.
We had email, and I would go on a business trip, and then I would put my out of office, and I would have an excuse not to have to catch up with everyone. Then the company provided us with Blackberries.
Oh, wow.
Now, I love the BlackBerry because now I could be at the airport, I could be returning, and I wouldn't come home to like a flood of emails. But at the same time, I hated the BlackBerry because now I had no excuse. I had to be on top of it. But it's way before the phone. I mean, our phones become computers.
Yes.
Who would have thought that we were going to just, and I think in our world, our kids have lived with all
Oh
this
my God,
technology,
yes.
right? So with us, we were there before, when we had payphones. I remember driving around looking for a payphone so I could make a phone
I
call.
remember having a pager growing up. Yeah.
Pager. I thought I was so cool when I had a pager.
Right.
I used to wear it outside on purpose so
Oh,
I
yeah.
could go when I go drinking with my
What
friends.
was your special code? Please
Oh,
share.
I don't
Please
remember.
share.
I don't even remember. But I remember I'd say, oh, someone's calling me. I got to go make a phone call because it made me feel I was a salesperson. It made me feel really important with my pager.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation with the generation today and the instant
Yeah.
gratification
So
that we
kids
deal
don't
with.
know what that
No,
was
they
like.
don't. I have these conversations with my son Alex all the time. It's like, dude, you don't even know what a commercial is. You don't even know this. That's like, we worked for ours. We've been through everything. We appreciate it more, obviously. Your kids are, how old are they now?
Got the 17-year-old, so
Yeah.
he's heavy into the technology, right? Like he
Just
doesn't
like
have
mine.
a friend's phone number because they Snapchat. I'm
Exactly.
like, you don't have
Yeah.
Brandon's number? He's like, no. I'm like,
I had to
Wow.
remember phone numbers. I have like 4 numbers memorized
right.
in my head right now. Everybody else is a tap.
Oh,
on
I
the-
had all my numbers memorized before because we had to. It's just it's insane too
Brain power.
that young kids. My daughter, when I get frustrated, even 10 years when she was 14, she would show me how to do things on my computer. Like she was. I mean, kids have just grown with all of it, and it's good and bad for kids. I think.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's a curse and a blessing. I see it more as a curse, but that's my opinion because they don't appreciate it. The kids don't appreciate it. They don't, like I said, they don't earn everything. It's given to them. So I try
Instant
to keep a balance.
gratification.
I know. I try to keep a balance at home. It's like, oh, you want this, you're gonna do this. You want this, you're gonna do this. You want to do this. Oh, I want you to read this book. I still want to report. I still want this.
Good.
But
very
that's
good.
just my parenting skills behind it because I need him to understand appreciation for everything. Because if not, then I'm raising a spoiled brat. Don't do that.
Yeah,
So listen, parallel that to payments.
Yeah.
So who's better? The person that knocked on 100 doors a week? Or the person who sent out 100 emails a week? Or the person who uses AI to script a marketing funnel?
person who knocks on the door.
You understand what I'm saying? And listen,
Yes.
that is an argument for another day, but just look at the evolution of the sales process in our very own industry.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you're coming into it. You don't need to go knock on doors. We're gonna have you go knock on
Oh, no,
doors.
absolutely.
That's a lesson.
Well,
You gotta learn.
and you
But
have
you're-
you have the option to call on your existing client
Right.
base
you got
to tell them now I'm selling.
Warm contact.
That's
yes.
where I really love when I get a newbie. I call them newbies that are new to the payment industry. When they've been selling something to another industry or that they can go call on all of their old clients and businesses because most of them take credit
Well,
cards.
get them a little excited, a little instant success,
Yeah.
board a couple, and
But it's
now
based-
we're hooked.
because
Yeah.
it's based on relationships.
Right.
And so you've already established that relationship. So you have an edge over somebody just calling them, emailing them. You can call them because it's a personal, they trust you. That trust factor is there.
Mhm.
So I back to what Elliott was saying. I still think people knocking on doors in person, that's always going to get you a bigger result in terms of business. When I pick up the phone and call people directly, instead of emailing them, even people that I've, pitched on NMI and they haven't responded, instead of emailing them, I call them and I say, hey, it's been a while since we talked. We just bought a new company, and it always re-engage, and then I get them back to the table and they're like, oh gosh, we forgot about this. But emailing, they'll just ignore,
Let me ask you. So look at the lessons you learn from getting told no and getting kicked in the teeth.
Yes.
You get so much callus on your hands from putting the repetitions in. So you knock on the door, you introduce yourself, you develop communication skills, you get an elevator pitch,
Right.
Right.
you get the nerves under control,
You get objection handling.
you get all of the communication things that happen from real human interaction.
Right.
Pressing the email send button is a lot easier because you're scripting it. That's one aspect of it.
Good.
And then the other part about it is, I think it's so important because we're just not communicating.
Right.
Well, I'm more successful signing a customer when I'm face to face versus if I'm calling them.
Right.
So I always like that
Especially that
face-to-face
initial
experience. Exactly. That
rapport
initial
building.
experience, they're going to remember you. You're going to make yourself memorable at some point. So they're going to remember you. They're going to want you. But that also brings in referrals to me as
Right.
well because I
Do a
did
good
great
job.
with you.
Yep.
I'm going to do great with them. I'm going to do great with them. But if I didn't, I'm not going to get anything. So that's very important to learn
Right.
at the same time.
I did door-to-door sales for a little bit in my younger years.
Really?
But
What were
God
you
was it?
selling?
Oh, my solar. Oh God, it was so
Oh,
nerve-wracking.
solar.
That's tough too.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
tough. But what you learned though is all about numbers game. Like,
Yes.
okay, if I knock 100 doors, I know I just got to get 5 good conversations. You know for sure there's no way you're not going to get good 5 quality
it is a
conversations that lead to
numbers
an
game.
appointment. And you never know what your next door could be.
So I started in sales as a copier salesperson right out of college. And I remember I had a manager that I was really scared of. He was like very honorary. And I mean, he was like, Naomi, you want to be successful? He goes, every day, he goes, I want you to come here and I want you to have at least 35 new business cards. I want you to knock on buildings selling copiers. So every day I would go and I would go to a huge high rise. I got kicked out a lot, security.
Oh,
But I was, and I wanted to bring him 35 cards a day. I became the top salesperson in the whole company every month because
Yeah.
of that.
But you know
And
what? You
it
learned a
was-
lot from that.
And so it was something that he just 35 a day. That's a lot of offices. And especially if you're getting kicked out and you have to go into another building because, but it is definitely a numbers game. And I think that was a big lesson to me on how you are going to get rejected, but you always have, if one a day results into selling something. I became really good at going in during lunch when the receptionist was gone because
Oh, smart.
whoever was taking over was really nice to me.
That's
Reading the room.
that's
Or
adaptation.
Yeah, and then
you
I
don't
would
get that if
I-
you're at home in your underwear typing.
yeah, and then I started going in at 5 because that's when the decision owner was there and the reception would be empty and I'd go into an office going hello. This decision maker would come out.
right.
So it was like unbelievable. I would then talk to the right person. So yeah, I started adapting, but I would have never known that if it wasn't for the numbers game.
Right.
They're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You quickly learn all their schedules, like each office, what time is their lunch break, and Sandee works Tuesdays. And I know I have a good rapport with Sandee, and they'll talk. So you just quickly learn and adapt.
So I
Networking.
think you're going to be really successful.
Thank
I
you,
think
thank you.
next year at this show, we're going to have you back and you're going to tell us what.
Love that.
That would be,
I love that 1 year check-in.
yeah, wouldn't it be great?
Let's do it.
Love that.
So, what is it about SEA that you love? Because you've been coming for how many years have you been coming to this show?
I would say that this is probably year maybe 7 for me. And I maybe not have gone to every one consistently, but I've been going to them for at least 7 years. And I've watched them get better, offer more to payments professionals and, people in the payment space. And their venues have gotten better every single year. They're obviously in the summertime, and they're in the South. And so it's kind of a vacation vibe for payment professionals, and that's what I use it for. But more importantly, the networking is exceptional. You meet the best people in our industry because the best people in our industry know what the best shows are and where to be at the right times. And so it's a combination of a lot of things, but they've done a really good job of putting together intelligent options, making it a price point that makes sense. And it's not, there is a show in payments that is financially ridiculous, that doesn't do anything more than what the regional shows does. But this is a very solid show with a very good leadership team.
So, which shows do you go to throughout the year?
I go to the Midwest show. I go to the Southeast show. I every other year go to the Northeast show.
Okay.
And I avoid the West Coast because that's so many states away from Louisiana.
Yeah.
But it's on the bucket list, And
it's a great show.
yeah,
This
so
year should be a good show as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been coming to these shows for so many years, and I haven't been coming to this one for a while. So it's the first time for me, and probably 10 years. So very excited to be here. I love Miami, but because I'm in the West Coast, I do all the, like I said, I go to Vegas so much for the FinTech conferences that the only regional show I really do is Western States.
Right.
And ETA, obviously.
Yeah.
You know. But.
Same for me. I usually stick to Western states. Southeast, this is year 3 for me. So, and it's been great. It's just getting to know everybody. But I usually stick to Western states. But I'll do more of the FinTech shows now, getting into the ISV space myself. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been exciting being here, seeing people that I don't see that often. It's a beautiful hotel.
Yes,
It is.
it is.
Mountain Blue is where we're staying.
Like I said, they get better with the venues. They really do a really good job.
Amazing. What do you guys hope to accomplish on this show today?
Like any other show, you know, meeting new people, new solutions, seeing what's out there, seeing how we're adapting to all the changes, you know, economically and socially out here. So it's always networking of it for me, and just getting to see a lot of, you know, people. It's such a small world where, you know, you see them here, but you don't see them here.
It becomes like a family.
It is. It really is.
It is.
Yeah, obviously. But it's great networking, and it's great socializing with people, getting out. You have all of these people that work from home now. So it's kind of good to get out and socialize and see a face-to-face and have a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah, I remember when COVID hit and there was
God,
no
yeah.
shows for a long
Yeah.
time. And I think it really was sad because I remember the first ETA, because I think they canceled ETA 2 years in a row.
It sounds about
During
right. Yeah.
COVID. And the first ETA, everyone was there. I mean, it was packed, but people were so happy to be back out and be around each other, you know, because people come from all these different states. So we don't get to see each other. And I remember that it was just, I didn't realize how much I valued interaction with people in the industry
Exactly.
until COVID hit. Because
Wow.
then I lost that for years.
I think it humbled everybody with how much we were taking advantage of all of that, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not a homebody. I love to get out of the house. I do not want to work from home ever if I can help it.
Yeah.
So I have an office. I dress up. I go to work every day. I like doing those things. To be able to stay at home and just work on it's too boring. It is
I do
so
that.
boring.
I travel so much, so I do work at NMI. We all kind of work remotely,
Right.
so I dress up from here up, and then sometimes I'm in my pajamas from the waist down for most of the day.
I think
My husband comes home. It's like, what are you doing?
she's not lying. She's been on a couple webinars like that.
I look very professional from the top.
Good.
Working from home. Yeah, I used to love going into an office. I used to be a banker, so I
Right.
went into the office every morning, and there's something about that. It's, you know, but I think now over the years, we do Zoom calls. Everything is remote for our company,
No.
and then I go to so many conferences
Right.
that I'm always out.
Well, you have that advantage. You know, our company is all around the United States. So
Mhm.
we have to do the Zoom calls. We have to do the work from home stuff. I have an office in Houston that I absolutely love. But when I'm doing, you know, webinars or Zoom calls or anything, you know, everybody's at home. Everybody's
Yes.
comfortable. Everybody's just there. And I'm over here in my suit like, hey, what's going on, guys? But it's just, I mean, to each his own. You like what you like, and that's that. I just cannot be at home that long. I would get so bored. I have to start laundry. I have to start this.
Well, you could get distracted. You have to
very
learn.
big distraction.
And that was the hardest part. Once you're not distracted, like my husband, he would always say, "You're home all day." And for a while, when he was on vacation and he didn't work, he saw that in the morning, and I'd be back-to-back calls, and I was like working. He goes, "Wow, you really do work from the morning." It was like one, because they set up, we have an SDR team, and they set up meetings for us, plus we're due. So he saw that it's really, I focus and I have to. And, but it's something you get used to. I think at the beginning, there are a lot of distractions.
There's way too many, especially in my house.
I just love being around my dog and my cat.
Jesus.
You know? How about
to
you?
each his own.
What did you hope to accomplish when you came to the SEAA?
This is really a middle of the year reset for us as a company. We use the trips for entertainment, team building, you know, doing activities together, but we're also echoing the sentiment of being around the payment space so that we could just have a little bit of fun, because I am a little bit of a tyrant. I will work, never take vacation, don't care about vacation. Give me the money, give me the success, give me the trophy. I don't really care about the trophy. I just want to keep working because that's just in my DNA.
Yeah.
But I had to realize that not everybody shares that same call of duty,
Right.
you know? And so because everybody doesn't live in the same place, it's an opportunity for us to galvanize and, you know, congregate as a team. So we take team pictures and we have team outings and we do team things, and it's all about team building. And I'm driving the message to them. Look around, know who you are in the payment space, know what you mean to me. If I'm your leader and you choose to follow me, to pick up your cross and follow me, I think I can bring you to the promised land. So let's do it. And this is what winning looks like. And so that's the franchise that I'm building over here.
That's awesome.
And I saw your team last night at the reception,
Yeah.
and they amazing.
That's because
One
we
of
just
them.
came from an expensive dinner. That's not the point. The point is, I just want you to know that I do this for them. I love being around you all. I do. I love talking shop. It's like I'm addicted to it. It's what I do. You know, I eat, sleep, and breathe it or whatever it is. But for them, it's an opportunity for them to take the pictures. All the girls want to get dressed up. What do we get dressed up for nowadays? Nobody's having real galas and balls and things and, like, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I really believe 20 years ago, people dressed better than they do today.
Oh yeah.
And I think that the events are few and far between. And so getting back to your point about the office, AI has made it possible for us to work from home, to work connected on an intranet, to secure the documents and the data and the exchange and the handling of classified materials to the point to where you do not have to be in a brick and mortar anymore. That has done something to the socialization of people. It's done something to the fact that the dry cleaners and the CBDs are out of business. The shoe shine guy is out of business. Most of the restaurants in the big buildings are in trouble and things of that nature. So the economy is shifting, and that work from home situation, it's really impactful on a lot of small businesses.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you can stay home, if you can work a full day and never leave your house, how many days can you string together like that? You get my point?
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, we may have cabin fever because we're adults that actually socialize. But what about that generation that doesn't? That do not have communication skills, that don't need to look people in the eyes, that don't have to have a real conversation. I know engineers that don't speak to people. They're just using WhatsApp. They're just using other applications for communications, but they're not communicating.
And you could tell they're socially awkward.
The anxiety level is
Yeah, they have-
high for
it's so-
everybody like that. Yes.
I've been around that too, where they're just socially, they
So-
don't know because they haven't had that.
So that's my whole thing. And I'm just saying that the economy looks different. Business looks different. Everything about what we're doing is changing. Whether you like it or not, people are going to migrate towards the convenience.
Yes.
One of my colleagues just ordered a foot brace for her husband from Uber.
A what?
And it came to the front door of the hotel. And I was like,
Ordered a what?
a foot brace
Foot brace.
for her husband because he hurt his foot. And she ordered it from CVS through Uber, and it wasn't even any extra expensive because they've moved to software as a service.
Yep.
And now you can. So I said, well, how much was it? Oh, we don't pay for it like that. We use the subscription. So now you're motivated because you're on the financial hook to just keep ordering stuff through Uber. Love it.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to shop and spend so much money on Amazon, on
I know.
online
I
shopping.
buy
everything. It's ridiculous.
I-
I still go to the store and pick my fruit.
yes.
I still
will
go to
do
the
that.
store,
I'm
yeah.
picky about produce.
Yeah,
I will
I'm
go do
very
that.
picky. Although I
Yeah.
started buying all of my meat through a farm
Yep.
because I always buy grass-fed beef. And I heard that they can tell you at the grocery store, it could say grass-fed, even if it's because if these cows have eaten grass, they could put that on there. So now I'm like, okay, I'm not buying it at the store. So now I buy, that's the only thing. But everything else, I go to the market. I'm very particular about what goes in it, healthy and organic, all of that stuff. But now my meat, I did my research on the different farms that sell real grass-fed beef and chicken, and that's, so now I order that. But other than that, you're right. I go to the store. As a girl, I've never been a shopper. I hated going
What?
shopping.
That's
I hated
like.
trying on clothes.
So you're telling me that you didn't let the marketing get to you? Because I know so many women that completely have soaked the narrative in their head that that's what they're on earth for. I'm here to shop, and they built built it into the marketing to women. It's ingratiated into their DNA right now.
I was so not into being in a store for a long time and even trying things on. Sometimes I would just get stuff, go in and out, and then take it home and then try it on at home and then return it if it didn't fit me.
Jesus.
I just didn't like to be in a store, and I would go with friends and I'd be like, oh my God, I wanted to shoot myself because they're shopping and I've never been one of those girly girls. I was always kind of a tomboy, and I love shopping online. So now
I can't do it.
This outfit,
I can't do it.
I got it online.
Nothing fits right. I can't do it.
And you can return things if it doesn't fit well. I was like,
This is true. I think I'm in the middle. I like my shopping time.
yeah.
I'm balanced. I don't shop all the time. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to spend a day and that's it. And then I won't go shopping for another 6 months. And when it comes to clothes,
Yeah.
things like that. Because I balance my time on how I spend it, on how I do that. But it's just, I have enough clothes anyway. I don't need.
I get really bored. I just and a little overwhelmed too, I guess.
Well, I think that's my me time, quite honestly. When my son wants to go with me, I just no, turn it down. This is my me time. This is my time to think. I could be listening to an audiobook at the same time while I'm shopping. I don't need to interact with anybody. It's just me thinking through stuff at the same time. Hey, does this color look great on me or not? But that's my personal time that I like to take advantage of, because we work so hard and we work so much that I have to find my outlet. And shopping, or just walking around, or even going to a Barnes and Noble, to a bookstore.
I used to love bookstores.
I still do that. I would spend hours at the
I
book.
used to spend hours at the bookstore, and my daughter was a reader.
Yes.
Library. I loved.
I could never
reading.
find a book I want.
Oh,
But I would go and walk the aisles for 10 hours.
Yes.
I
I'll
buy
sit there for
books.
3 hours and I'll read, or I'll look through different books, see who's writing.
I walk
and things
out
like that.
spending so much money, and at the airport I buy
Oh.
books there too. Like
No,
I'm
I won't
always-
do the airport books, but no.
Oh yeah,
I do my research behind a book before I actually want to invest into it. But, even walking around, I'm listening to an audiobook.
oh
yeah.
really? You listen
Yeah.
to them? I'm
I can't retain the information if I just listen to it. I can't.
Yeah, I don't know if I would too. If I would be focused on that.
Oh,
I can't retain it. My ADHD or whatever them alphabets are, I just can't do it. I know so many people that can listen to a book and act like they read the book, and I'm like,
My mind would go somewhere else. Even
Different.
reading.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a different
Well, I
pathway in
think-
the brain.
yeah, for me, it was how I listened to the audiobook. I can't sit and listen to an audiobook if I'm right here, or if I'm at home. Even at home, I
Oh,
can't
if
do
you're
it.
Driving, I
If
would
I'm
do.
driving,
See, I
If
do
you're
road
I'll do
driving,
what
I
I'm-
think I
driving.
my
could.
road trips,
Because
I
zone
can
out,
do. Mhm.
Yeah,
and I can absorb
like
it.
I listen
Yes.
to podcasts when I'm driving.
Exactly. Yes.
So I do, and I'm focused on driving, and it gives me, and because of my AD, because I'm bored so much, I have to have something else besides driving.
Right.
And the podcast will get me the information. So that's what I do. So I guess I could do a book.
It just
through
depends
that.
on how you're reading it. Basically, I still love a good book, a physical book. I want to read it. I want to smell it. I want to do the story behind it. But I'm not gonna say no to audio if I'm driving all the time.
Speaking of books, do you have a book, Elliott, that you think it would be a great book for someone in payments that you recommend?
Starting out.
Can I jump in there?
go ahead.
I would read Elliott's book.
Well,
I read his book,
Oh,
and
Elliott has a book.
Elliott has one. He's got a
Self-explanatory.
second one
Yay,
coming out too.
promote your book.
Yes,
Promote
he
so
your
wait,
book.
let me back up on that. So let me tell you why I wrote my book and what it's about. I wrote a book and released it 2 years ago in August
It's a good
called Business is War. And the reason I wrote that book is because as a payment processor, I don't believe that there's anyone that knows more about that small business and their journey than the person providing payment solutions to them. Because we're a part of the circulatory system of that business, moving the money from the customer to the merchant bank account through a system, through a software, through a pathway that is legitimately a part of the business itself. Point of sales, whatever it is, whether it's the invoicing suite,
Without it.
it's so ingratiated that it is very important. So I've seen The Florist, the nursery, the daycare, the bookstore, the small restaurant, the bodega, the convenience store. I've seen them and I know their struggles. I know the margins. I know how much the restaurant has a supplier change that changes the entire menu. I know the employee labor cost situation. I know the moment that an employee at $12 an hour costs more than a hamburger at $7 an hour, you're in trouble.
Right.
Okay. Back in the day, it used to be the other way around. The employee cost less than the basic
Yes.
item on the menu type of thing, and it was closer and the margins were better. And then you add healthcare, and you add full-time versus part-time. You add so many different problems around it, around employees, around taxes, around real estate, around intellectual property, marketing and sales. There are so many reasons why businesses don't make it. And I kept seeing this over 20 years. I'm like, why are you guys hitting the same walls? You're in business 3 years, you're doing good, you're out of business in year 4. You're failing in year 1, you can recover in year 2, make money in year 3, out of business in year 4. I've seen so many people hit their head on a number of topics, like 10 to 12 topics, that I wrote a book about it. And I gave it to my customers, and I found the ones that took it seriously, they did better. They now could see the punch coming because they knew what the problem was, right? You know how many business owners go out of business on year 3 because now the tax man is looking for them because they forgot that they had to pay taxes?
Oh yeah, huge.
You know, this is a real life thing. And so I wrote that book and I gave it to my most dear customers, and they were like, okay, Elliott, I got it. I'm not dealing with it. I'm 6 out of 12. I'm 8 out of 12. I'm good. And one of my customers said, Elliott, I read that book twice. I listened to the audio book one time, and I'm still not making enough money to keep the doors open.
Wow.
And I said to her, well, you should pivot. And she said, well, how do I do that? And I was like, well, damn, that might be another book, you know? But the truth is, if your margins are just constantly going in the wrong direction, it's okay for you to frame houses and the wood costs too much and you make an adjustment to become a roofer. It's okay for you to be a roofer.
Pivot into some other industry.
But it's close enough to where it's not a far reach. So it's okay to be the roofer that says, I might want to move towards HVAC or move towards plumbing or something to that effect. Or maybe even encompass all of them in the business and add different revenue streams for myself.
Yeah.
So that's what the next one is about. It's about being in love with being in business, but not in love with your business, because it's going to change.
You know, it's interesting you say that. When I first started in this industry, I worked for a company called Foreman, and it was focused on hospitality restaurants. They owned Jack Daniel's, Southern Comfort, so they were already in the liquor industry, and they decided to get into credit card processing for hospitality. And I would go out and see new restaurants and businesses and get them set up. And sometimes a year later, I saw that they would not make it. And it became something where in the hospitality and the restaurant business, I saw so much percentage of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of sad. And it got to the point where I knew which ones were going to be successful and not successful from the beginning. They were throwing too much money out there. And
That's the vantage point you have by watching the data in real time. You know something that's crazy? Because I watched this. I watched that first generation build this business, grit, missing payments, but still fighting. They have a determination to keep the legacy alive.
Right.
If your last name was Farmer, you were planting shit. If your last name was Carpenter, if your last name was Painter, you get the picture. You
Yeah.
were your namesake. But today, I watch so many first generation immigrants and business owners build something and leave a legacy for the kids to throw it clean off the cliff. They don't want to do it. How many
Very
of them put
sad.
their kids through great colleges because they've got their backbones together for the kids to go to medical school and leave the business to die?
kids don't want to do the business. They want to go on to do their own thing.
I've
and
seen it
it's
so
sad.
many times.
It happened with my dad's business. He started a fruit stand back in the day. Then he had all these restaurants, and we grew up in that industry, and none of us wanted to take over
Yeah.
the business. My sister-in-law took over the last business, and she's doing an amazing job.
Good.
But it was, none of us chose that.
Well, I know my son's not going my route. He doesn't want anything to do with payment. He's been to a couple of these shows. He doesn't want anything to do with payments.
Too much socialization. You got to be a freaking butterfly in this world to come in here, because you can't be an introvert and come to payments.
No.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
Because people are just walking up to me, grabbing my hand, and we're just talking, and it's okay. But this newer generation, they lack a little communication, and it's a little tough. So you got to see.
Well, I mean, you hear employers talking about hiring new young people, and it's horrible. These employers are saying their work ethic, they complain a lot. It's just
It's again the
They want
calculator.
everything. They want
I blame it on the calculator. I blame it on Starbucks saying order it through the app.
instant gratification.
Order it through
They
the
don't
app.
work hard for anything.
Walk into the coffee shop, grab your coffee off the counter with your name on it, and walk out. You don't even have to say hello to anybody. That's the generation we live in. Because that girl at the counter used to be great. That guy at the counter used to be
Yeah.
great. How are you doing today? What can I do for you? Is this your first time here? Welcome back. All that. That
it's-
stuff's out of here.
But it's funny because then they blame it on convenience. They don't see instant gratification as a term because they're spoiled.
Well, 'cause
They
they
say,
don't
"Oh
know
no,
any
it's
better."
convenient. It's convenient. It's convenient." That's all I hear is like, you go to Starbucks, Mom. I do. I'm a big Starbucks fan. I won't lie about that. You go to Starbucks, you get your coffee. Why? Because it's convenient. I go, yeah, but that's once a week, babe. Every other week, I'm grinding my beans. I want a good coffee. I'm going to make my coffee at home. That is my gratification that I did that. I earned that cup of coffee and I'm going to enjoy it. But yes, I'm going to enjoy Starbucks at the same
Every
time.
once in a while. Look,
It's just-
I
it just
heard
depends on how the kid sees it. And unfortunately, this generation, which we're learning right now, it's just everything's convenient. It's not instant gratification.
tell
it's
you-
convenient.
Let me tell you the new thing. This is coming.
Yeah.
Not only is the movie theater in trouble because we don't have as many blockbusters as we used to have,
Right.
and Amazon Prime is now a studio. Netflix is now a studio.
Yeah.
So instead of them putting it in the real studios, they're going to just stream it to you and raise the price of the subscription, right?
Right.
So the movie theaters now, because of how hard it is to find reliable help from the high school kids that used to work there,
Mm-hmm.
now you sit in a chair in the theater and you order your popcorn and your drink from the app.
Oh yeah. I got a QR code.
I haven't gone to
scan
the
everything
movies.
there.
I used to go to the movies so much.
It was a
and I
part of
don't
our
go
growth. We
anymore.
grew up in the movies.
Yeah, and it was a thing to do for socialization,
Yes.
especially when you were a teenager.
But
because
how are you socializing at the movies if you're
Well, you
watching
still,
a movie?
that was a way to go with your boyfriend in high
Oh.
school. Your parents,
Yes.
it was like,
Yeah, you get to kiss
Somewhere
somebody in
to
the dark.
go.
Yeah.
But listen, not anymore. Because I'm telling you, these kids are not dating.
Yep.
They're not communicating. The idea of a young man knocking on somebody's door with a flower is it's got some challenges out here right now.
Chivalry's not dead. I still get flowers. I love it. I accept them.
my husband brings me flowers all the time. He's very,
Exactly.
very
Oh.
romantic. I have to say,
chivalry's
shout
not
out to
dead.
Brian Vidal.
Hey, but hold on. He's considerably over 30. Let's just start there.
Oh, no. Alex will still buy me an orchid plant. He knows I love orchids. He will still buy me an orchid plant
Really?
every once in a while. He'll come home with one. I got coworkers that come to my office with an orchid plant because they know I appreciate a good flower. So it's not dead. It just depends on how they were raised.
And how they were
you know?
raised. It's up
Yes.
to parents to raise especially their boys to be men.
Oh, God.
Very
yes.
important.
And to be gentlemen and to grab that chair,
Open the door.
open the door,
Yes.
all of that, and I have to say sometimes it's women feminism that might have hurt that a little bit. I've never been one of
Oh
those
my God.
women,
I won't say that too loud because I'll tell you, I believe that 100%.
And
Listen,
I hate to say
think
it
that's probably
because I've
another
always, oh no, people are gonna not like this.
you know what? No
but
matter
it's-
what you say, somebody's not going to like it.
Agreed.
thing about it is
100%. Yeah.
As a young man, I have bought those flowers for a girl to tell me she didn't even want them. And that, again, speaking of the calluses on your hand, you have to have those no's to get to a yes, to learn the process.
Yep.
Of how to get knocked down, to get back up. Today, nobody's getting knocked down. Nobody's competing. Nobody's getting back up. There is no game.
Well, I mean, when you say competing, back in my day, you actually, if you won if you were played a sport, you didn't get a trophy unless you won.
Yeah.
And you know, you knew about being a loser.
They call that the
I like
participation
being a
trophy.
loser because
Yeah.
it taught me that I never wanted to be a loser.
Yeah.
Now it's like everybody gets a trophy. I'm like, it's like that's what does that really teach you? You want to be competitive.
Right.
In sales, to
Yeah.
be
Yes.
successful, it's always being competitive. I hate when my numbers aren't like the top numbers in our
Right.
group. You know, you
Wow.
wanna always be a
That's
winner.
healthy friction, though. It's not. I don't think it's competition.
I know
I think
several
it's
companies
healthy.
only hire athletes.
It's
Oh,
Athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I consider that too, but there is a such thing as a jock tax. So give me will over skill.
Right.
I got this guy that works for me. He looks like, I hope he never hears this message. He looks like a church deacon. He looks like an old Baptist pastor that drives a bad Cadillac. I am not joking. I don't know what he does, but every day he comes home with something on the hook. And I'm like, man, I don't think I would ever, I don't know how he does it. I mean, he even got the string on his tie with the tie bar. I mean, like,
Love it.
it's crazy to me. I'm like, bro, you are not in 1987. You know, you have got to come up here, you know. I don't know. He does it. So give me the athlete for sure. Give me the personality for sure. But give me somebody that's got a heart of gold that'll try, and I can work with that.
Well, it's all about their strong why too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what is their why? What's driving them? What's their motivation? There's got to be a bigger purpose and reason for what they're doing that
It
keeps
can't
them
be just
going.
money. It can't be just
It
money.
can't be. Otherwise, you'll give up eventually. For certain things.
well, I'm really, really grateful that you guys were here today. I have a,
Thank you.
especially
pleasure.
you. We want to check with you next year. to see
Absolutely.
where you're
I'll
at.
be here.
This has been amazing. I love the conversation. I love, learning about everybody's journey. Even though we've been friends for a long time, I didn't really know everybody's background.
Yes.
And it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Likewise, Niall.
Thanks for having
Thank you
us.
so much
So,
for having us.
Thank
Yes.
you so much. And I hope that this show's really successful for you,
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
for all of us.
Subscribe and follow Girls Just Want to Have Funs